clenched tower chaos meets. Born in the wreckage but we don't bow. Every scar a medal, every fight a vow. Do you hear the thunder calling our names?
Hey guys, this is a updated video on my build that I posted a few days ago. This is the Culling Strike monk. I wanted to go over with this first section about a few questions that I was asked about the build, and hopefully this answers a few questions. So the first thing, can this work with other ascendancies? Yes, this can. But the reason I'm using it with this ascendancy is because of Martial Adept and Martial Master. This really helps with building combos specifically for bossing when you use Mantra of Destruction. Mantra of Destruction, again, because of A-list chimes, when you build combo, you can expend it to get power charges. And so when you gain combo, you gain additional combo. That's really beneficial. And then every thing that you do to hit with the weapon set, you gain combo. So that really helps out with getting the build for bossing. The runes are specifically to either cap on reses or specific to other defenses. And then Hollow Focus, this also helps out with bossing too, because to build up more power charges while passively walking, Hollow Focus creates those bells that you can then cull to gain a power charge from with Culling Strike. And so that's the reason why this ascendancy works for this build right now, but there's definitely other ways to work around making this build work efficiently on other ascendancies. Second question, what were the consumable quest gathers you took? For the medallion in Act 2, I chose the 30% increased charm charges gain +1 charm slot. For the Venom Draught, I chose 25% increased mana regeneration rate. For the Goddess of Justice, I have 30% increased life recovery from flasks. For the Interlude Quima, I believe that's how you pronounce it, the Pillar, I have the 15% increased global armor, evasion, and energy shield. For the question number 3, how do I know what goes on what weapon slot? So I'm gonna go down and make a run through on this. So these quarterstaff skills, I'm just using them to hold gems to swap in between easily. So this doesn't matter, you can have whatever you want on this. I don't use the Crushing Fear. It is a good skill, but I don't use it, so it's just there. But what I do is, so this is my main damage dealing quarterstaff. It's in slot 1. This is my mapping quarterstaff. It's in slot 2. This is what I use for killing Palm and Ice Strike, and this is what I use for Falling Thunder and Mantra of Destruction. On top of that, for the passive tree, all these green marks that you see are all straight to the clearing quarterstaff, which is again quarterstaff number 2. All those are just for defenses or mana regen, mana taken before life. Just something to keep myself afloat while mapping, deflection, all that. And then for my quarterstaff 1, my final or Falling Thunder and Mantra of Destruction, I'm using all these crit nodes that you see right here, this crit leaf right here. Same with down here at this crit leaf. So this is building all the crit damage, crit hit chance that I need to build up. So that's basically what you would put in whichever weapon slot. Aside from spirits, again, as I stated in the first video, weapon slot 1, this is the one that I use for Falling Thunder. I have Berserk, Wind Dancer, Ghost Dance, Charge Regulation, and Hollow Focus. For the second slot, I have Herald of Ash, Wind Dancer, Overwhelming Presence, Ghost Dance, Charge Regulation, and Hollow Focus. That is for the spirits. Question number 4. Can you explain more on how to kill rare and unique mobs? So, how to actively make this build more efficient when it comes down to mapping for that specific thing. Now, what happens when you weapon swap and you use Charged Staff? When you swap over to the other weapon, the benefits from Charged Staff that you use for whichever weapon slot you use only works for that weapon set. It is the same skill. It's used the same. It's just for the skill slots themselves. This one I use for weapon slot 2, which is the clearing, the mapping. And then I use this for weapon slot 1, which is my Falling Thunder and Mantra of Destruction. While I'm actively mapping, I'm constantly just using charges to keep charge staff sustained for mapping. But periodically, I will also use charge staff. Even if I'm just mapping, I'll use charge staff to go for the weapon slot 2. Because you get power charges so quick and easy, it's not hard to maintain both of these and keep them afloat. This just adds more damage. You don't necessarily need to use that all the time, but it helps. And as for, again, weapon set 1, what you would do for killing a rare and unique, if it's not efficiently, like sometimes when you're going around mapping, you're getting all the benefits from all the added damage through both charge staff and killing strike from all these supports, like Thrill the Kill right here, along with Blazing Critical and other damage increase bonuses that you can get, including Blind. And with that, you would just Falling Thunder after doing that. If you don't clear that the rare or unique within the first hit, what you can do, if you have power charges when you made that first attack and it didn't finish him off, press Mantra of Destruction. You should have combo built up by then, and it will get you more power charges to then build up your quarterstaff's hit and then allow you to hit them again with another devastating blow. So for question number 5, can you use Flicker Strike over Falling Thunder? You probably could. You just have to work with different support gems than Falling Thunder. Falling Thunder, you would use different support gems, but I can assure that even Flicker Strike could probably be good even for single target. I don't know. I don't care to really like test it out or try it because I already have my form of Flicker Strike. I don't want to add too much to it. Plus, there's more control in using Falling Thunder. And so I just stick with that. Can you cull tier 16 juice mobs at full HP? From my knowledge, it doesn't matter what level map you use. The cull is infinite damage. They could be 3 million HP. Their Culling Strike threshold does not change. So that means they're still at that same cullable HP, even if they're at an insane amount of HP or not. So yeah, you can cull tier 16 juice mobs at full HP with no issue, aside from rares and uniques. What do you use Ice Strike, and can you explain what supports and why Ice Strike? Typically, Ice Strike is just here as a combo build, and I really only use Ice Strike for bossing the bosses itself to build the combo needed to activate Mantra of Destruction. Then I use Mantra of Destruction and then kill them with Falling Thunder. But Ice Strike is just a way of building combo. You could just put rapid attacks or any other moves that build combo quick to then just use Mantra of Destruction and kill quick. But you could also do things with adding a little bit of extra cold damage to help freeze or proc freeze when it comes down to it, which is why I use Concentrated Area to give more damage for it, along with Cold Attunement and then Embitter. Because of Embitter, I'm getting the benefits from Blazing Critical and Thrill of the Kill right here. So the gain 25 and then the gain 15 is all going to be added extra cold damage instead. And so that's what I use for Ice Strike, basically to proc freeze the boss a little bit quicker if you can, to generate the power charges or the safety you need for Mantra of Destruction. How does it perform with Uber Pinnacle bosses and 6-man parties? I cannot answer the 6-man parties. I haven't done it with this build yet. I could think that clearing whites and blues are pretty efficiently, but with scaling more of the HP, that's when it comes down to more of like scaling your damage. At that point, it's like making sure you have a very like good damage crit quarterstaff or rings to add your to your damage. Other than that, it seems like it would be efficient, aside from rares and uniques. Falling Thunder is a good heavy hitter, but in a 6-man party, I don't think it's going to be enough to keep you sustained from all the rares and uniques from mapping. As for Pinnacle bosses, I haven't had an issue with Pinnacle bosses. I don't have any gameplay, nor do I have anything to be able to do a Pinnacle boss for you guys right now. and so I can't really share that. But I've versed a few pinnacle bosses and everything, and sometimes it takes 2 Falling Thunders, other times I can clear them with 1 hit. It helps whether or not you swap between 2 different gems. For bossing, for pinnacle bosses, I would probably use this and swap this out with, you could probably even do Nova projectiles, and just swap this out, because what it does is it basically doubles your damage. You shoot a projectile, which is what the Falling Thunder does. It creates a projectile, and it comes back to you, and it goes right through the same target twice. So it basically doubles the damage. It's very beneficial. I swap this out when it's mapping because it's of the cooldown that it ends up adding. Can you use Alder Legacy to remove the fear from the gloves to use on others? Now, I have not tried this. I don't think I want to try this because I like the gloves sitting as is. I like where it's at. It gives the attack damage. It gives a good amount of evasion. It gives the added chaos damage. And so it's really not necessary. But you probably could. I haven't tested it. I don't know how it would be or if you can. So that's just a question I really can't answer. How can you scale damage for this build to be more efficient? So the best way that I think you could scale your you should scale your damage is for Falling Thunder. You want to get Falling Thunder to be basically hit 100% of the time a critical hit. That can be boosted from charge regulation. That could be boosted from the support gems that you have, whether it be, actually nothing comes from that, whether it be from the Heart of the Well, where you get the Culling Strike anyways. You can get crit hit chance and crit damage bonus, or you can get gems like this, critical hit chance with damage to quarterstaves, stuff like that, attack speed to quarterstaves, and then other allocations like I use with Barbaric Strength and Vulgar Methods. Anything to build chaos, crit damage and crit hit chance. You just want to make sure that when it comes down to your hit, Falling Thunder is hitting a crit 100% of the time. How I'm scaling my crit hit chance is with charge regulation. When I have this up, it's giving me 26% more crit hit chance with a power charge, so it's active basically all the time. And so with that, I'm getting up to 88.85% crit hit chance just from that alone. And then while I'm using Charge Staff to blind targets, along with Wind Dancer and any other abilities that I have to add blind on hit, with Blindside, it's creating 15% more critical damage bonus and 15% more critical hit chance. And with the math from a blinded target, my Falling Thunder is getting up to 100% or 102% crit hit chance, which is just 100. And then my crit damage bonus, after doing all the math and building up all the power charges that I need, which I have 8 with these boots, I'm getting up to like about 900 and something crit damage bonus with my setup, which is very, very nice for damage boosting. And so what you would want to do is make sure you get your crit hit chance up to 100. Don't surpass it too much. Like 102 is the max. I mean, the minimal I can do without going under 100%. If I were to take away, like say this 10% increased critical hit chance, I'd be at like 99.8, and I want to be at 100, and so I keep this on. But once you get up to that 100, the next thing that you want to do is just keep scaling crit damage bonus, whether it be gems, whether it be supports or anything like that. You just want to keep scaling the crit damage bonus. That's basically your best way of scaling the damage. Does Hollow Form tech work with this build? So the Hollow Form Ascendancy with Martial Artist, the Hollow Form wouldn't work because you can't passively generate charges while using Hollow Form without using those other set of gloves where you can share charges. That basically stops you from being able to use these set of gloves, so it wouldn't work unless there's another way of sharing charges. Other than that, you would have to kill a few, get the charges, use Hollow Form and its ability with Killing Palm. And then from that point on, your companions is what they are, would generate power charges, but it wouldn't be you generating the power charges. And so that's where I don't believe hollow form technique would be able to work efficiently at all with Killing Palm. Runes and tattoos. The runes that I'm putting in is specifically to just defenses. Deflection with the boots. The gloves, I'm just adding flat fizz. This is just reduced curse effect along with resistance and resistance. Basically, you could use this for more defenses, and then if you're not capped on reses with the amount of uniques you got to use in this, you can use this to build up the resistances that you're missing, and that's what I'm doing. I'm building it up on cold because I'm not capped on cold. I'm gonna go over something where someone kind of screwed up. You don't want to put Way of the Stone Fist on, because what it does is it changes the whole ability. That fear, it changes Fear Incarnate to something else, and it does two different things. This Fear Incarnate does cull, the other one does a whole different thing. And I had someone who asked, I have everything set up exactly how you do. I have the gloves, I have everything, but it's not getting the same effects. And he had found out it's because he's using Way of the Stone Fist, and it's changing the whole form of the gloves. You don't want to have that on. I'm going to go over the support gems that I use for all the moves that I am using. So for Falling Thunder, I'm using Rage Forge. I'm gaining Rage while actively using Killing Strike, or Killing Palm and Ice Strike. And so while I'm actively mapping, I'm always having like the 30 Rage, and then I use this to gain just more damage upon doing so. I use Blindside. Blindside helps surpass the amount of crit hit chance I need to get a 100% crit hit chance, as well as gaining 15% crit damage bonus, more crit damage bonus upon blinding with Charge Staff and other moves. I use Culmination because I'm always building charges so quick, so easy, and you can expend all your 10 combo and deal 40% more damage per 40% more damage per combo, which adds 40% damage, and so that's what I use for this. Vault is a new gem that I just put in that I had before, but I took off for Fist of War that I've now put back. I use Nova Projectiles for this. It helps with clearing a circle all around me. When I'm bossing, I use this. When I'm mapping, I'm using this. And so yeah. For Killing Palm, I use Rage 3 to build Rage attack speed if I don't have enough Rage. I use Culling Strike to cap the Culling Strike threshold. Thrill the Kill adds or gains 25% of damage as lightning damage for 8 seconds. Charge Perfusion, generate more charges and additional charges to help with charge regulation. And then I'm using Soul Drain for mana, percent mana recovery. For Ice Strike, I'm also using Rage 3, Rapid Attacks 2, Concentrated Area, Cold Entombment, and Embitter. Charge Staff, I'm using Shock, 20%, or I believe I can get a 30% magnitude shock from my tree. I'm not sure exactly, but more damage is, or a support is better than nothing. A blind 2 to help proc what I need for Blindside. Culling Strike 2. This helps for just clearing rares and uniques once the life threshold comes down. Basically, with putting this on, it just, once they get to that culling threshold with the already added culling threshold that you have, it just adds to killing them more quicker. Blazing Critical, obviously while you're critically hitting, you're gaining 15% of damage fire. And then Prolonged Duration to add towards the duration of that. For Mantra of Destruction, I have Delayed Gratification to add more combo to be used. Profanity 2, while I'm mapping, when I use this, it can consume up to 10 corpses within 5 meters. If possible, the support skills deal 5% more chaos damage for each corpse consumed. Now, I'm not sure if this works for the buff or not, or if this it can only be used for a hit skill. I have not tested it out. I don't know the difference. I can't test the difference. I just have it in because it's an extra slot, so I might as well. Empowered Sparks adds another form of empowering my attack. Charge Refusion, same thing. more chance of charges, more charges, and random charges with A-list chimes. Charge regulation, ghost dance. I'm using cooldown recovery, second wind 3, cannibalism 2, clarity 2. Using overwhelming presence, and then wind dancer. I'm using maim, blind 2, magnified area, leeched life, and heavy swing. Herald of Ash. I am using fire mastery, magnified area 2, concentrated area, and swift affliction. And then berserk. I'm using Uthred's Omen, +2 to the supported skill if exactly one other support is modifying it. There's not really another support that I need to modify this. I just threw this in there to get this +2 levels. And so that's all my support gems. As for my gear, my rings, I have +2 lightning and cold, along with reses and evasion and strength. And this ring, it's basically the same thing. Strength, evasion, and other form of flat damages. The belt is where I have most of my resistances, as well as life and mana. Amulet, you've seen. I have all these allocated to them. My boots, I have this with the crit damage bonus per power charge, as well as the extra power charge. I have these, all these for my charms. These are my flasks. Done a little gambling, and I had lost my main quarterstaff that I was using before. I had also lost my previous chest piece, and then I replaced the chest piece, corrupted it, and lost that one as well. And so this is my third chest piece that I just swapped over to and replaced. Other than that, this is a new quarterstaff that I have. It's similar to what I had prior, maybe a little less physical damage, but it's higher in crit damage bonus. So it's still basically the same quarterstaff, just a little different. On the bright side, I did end up getting a third socket on my side hand quarterstaff, which really helps. I have spirit, 30 spirit in this quarterstaff, and then the 50% chance of getting a power charge when you get an additional power charge. It's great for actively just building up power charges quicker for bossing. Those are two changes that I made. The gloves I changed to have more attack speed, and I end up adding a socket, a jewel socket, because I don't know why I didn't think about doing it before, but I added a jewel socket, and the jewel on my gloves is giving me evasion rating, crit damage bonus for attacks, increased damage with quarterstaffs, and crit hit chance for attacks. Another difference that I end up making, I just corrupted these boots. I got freeze threshold. Plus, it doesn't help. I mean, it's not like the biggest bonus, but I just corrupted it and got that. I changed up my struggle scream to change up a few allocations between crit hit chance and crit damage upon leveling. I changed it up a bit to get more defenses and cater towards just building up more crit damage upon doing so. And then I also ended up getting a new helmet. I got a helmet that had the Culling Strike threshold that I needed, the number that I needed, and it also has the +1 to maximum power charge corruption. That helps. That's what I wanted to search for a bit, and I ended up finding one that had a good amount of evasion rating and just the percentage that I need to still efficiently run this build. Make sure if you get one of these helmets that you still have the increased Culling Strike threshold to be able to build up to that 400%. Other changes that I made to the character is Falling Thunder. I used to have, I believe it's Fist of War in Falling Thunder, and then I was given word that Fist of War only worked for the slam part of this skill, and it didn't work for the projectiles. And so I replaced that with Vault instead, which basically while you're actively flying around the map with Killing Palm, you're already dashing the meters that you need to build this thing up. And every single time that you build it up, you gain maximum of 30 volatiles. Supported skills gain 1% of damage as extra lightning damage per volatile or voltaic charge consumed, and so it's just 30% increased or 30% extra lightning damage. So it's still another good support gem to use. Other differences that I made is I removed Embitter from Killing Palm and I pulled Soul Drain. I put this on because I've been experiencing a lot of mana consumption issues, and this move wasn't really proccing freeze anyways, and so Embitter just seemed very useless to keep in this, and so I swapped it out with Soul Drain to maintain my mana flow. On top of that, I upgraded a lot of my gems to get the plus to corruptions and quality that I wanted. Just basically updating the ones that I use more often, including Mantra of Destruction, Charged Staff, and Falling Thunder. Again, if you look for a Mantra of Destruction, don't look for quality, just look for the plus to levels. You don't want to have higher quality because that means fewer combo to use. So if you're doing the same thing as what I'm doing, make sure you just stick to 0 quality, which makes it very cheap to replace. I'm going to go over a few cons with this build. The downside about this build is if you don't have a good budget, the survivability with this character is lackluster. You got to like work at it to get your defenses up. Even where I'm standing, my defenses aren't insane. I have 70 evasion. All my reses are capped besides from chaos. And while I'm sitting at a 700 or 70 evasion, I'm also only at 2,000 energy shield, 1,700 life. Evasion rating is at 70%. Deflection rating, or estimated chance to deflect, is 85%. Damage prevented from deflection is 46%. So my defenses aren't insane, but it's there. Another downside is with the new league, the runic things, when you're using or popping those runes, sometimes those mobs spawn with runic ward, and because of that, because it's not a health pool, you can't cull them. It's like a second form of HP, and because they still have that second form that's after your HP, it doesn't count as you being able to, or it doesn't allow you to be able to cull them. So the downside with that is you're constantly fighting, building up combo, to use Mantra of Destruction to get your power charges, and then Falling Thunder to hopefully splash the area around you, and then keep rinse repeat Mantra, and then Falling Thunder, keep repeating until it's basically all gone. So sometimes you'll be able to cull them, other times you won't, but that's two things that are very inefficient with this build. Another thing is sometimes when bossing, I don't know why it is, but my damage can be very inconsistent upon the first initial Falling Thunder that I would hit. Sometimes I only hit like a 800,000 K blow, and then other times I'll hit like 5,000, or if I'm using this, sometimes I'll hit even more, and then sometimes I hit only like 2,000. It's a very inconsistent thing. I don't know if it has to do with the resistances that a mob has or what, but sometimes the damage fluctuates between bossing. So sometimes you'll have a good hit, other times you don't. Typically, it really only takes 2 Falling Thunders to kill a boss, though. I don't really have any issue, unless there's a separate phase. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this build. It's been a work in progress. I'm still actively like searching for better gear or better ways to work around getting my damage up, but for the time being, it's been working as intended. I do gather a few deaths here and there, but not as much. But I hope you guys are enjoying the build yourself. You guys are the ones out there trying it.